This is Army West Point Athletics on YouTube this afternoon. United States Military Academy. This is Army West Point Athletics on YouTube this afternoon. This is the United States Military Academy. This is Army West Point Athletics on YouTube this afternoon. Welcome back. This is the United States Military Academy. This is Army West Point Athletics on YouTube. This afternoon, Army takes on Penn State in a very welcome return to Anderson Rugby Complex. High noon, everybody. I'm Nikolai Busco. Yes, we're finally back here. The rain had forced a couple of matches to take place at Shea Stadium, home to the Sprint football team, last week, but we're glad we're back. The pitch does have some patches in it, but there is no rain in the forecast, and we are thankful for that. And a big tackle by Dylan Liskey as the Nittany Lions will continue with the opening possession here. Army scored against Trinity College Dublin when they were here last week, something they did not do 4 years ago when the Dubliners had come to town. Nate Gould made it 17-7 with a half hour to go, but Trinity maintained focus and won the match 38-7. Trinity, by the way, is the oldest rugby complex, oldest rugby club in the world. As somebody's down for Army, that might have been Elijah Mangis down. Looks like he might have a bit of a nosebleed. Or is that Dom Tianga? It is Dom Tianga who, well, they might have to stuff that thing up for him to continue. He does not want to come off the field. If you ever met him, you would know that for sure. So that gives us some time to talk about these teams and what they've done so far. Again, Army with an exhibition against Trinity College Dublin. Trinity, the oldest rugby club in the world, dating back to 1854. And again, it was not a competitive game 4 years ago when the Dubliners were here. But again, Nate Gould made it 17-7 with a half hour to go. But Trinity maintained focus. Penn State played a preseason match at Clemson. Dan Moriaru scored 2 tries as the Nittany Lions took care of business. 7 other men scored tries for Penn State, which led to half 31-12. You see that the recent history is a bit one-sided. Army won last year's meeting, has won the last 4 meetings, outscoring Penn State 145-57 over that time. Average margin of victory, 22 points. Going back to 2014, Penn State leads the series 7-6. Now I'm going to show you we might be able to show you the Army starting lineup, but there's already been a change. It would appear that Dom Tianga is not going to return. Malik Burchett has checked in. So that's a quick change in the opening minute here as the Black Knights last season 13-8 as they try to defend their D1A national title for the previous year. Lost to Navy 3 times in the 15s, including the national quarterfinals. Navy beat Cal for the title. And Black Knights finishing third in the CRAA Rugby Sevens, beating Davenport to losing to Lindenwood in the semifinals. Penn State coming off an 11-8 season, 4-9 in the 15s, lost a D1A Bowl Series match to Ohio State, won the Big Ten University Sevens Championship, and beat Arizona to win the plate final at the CRAAs. So the Black Knights just trying to move forward again. Dom Tianga, unless there's a rule that allows blood to be stopped and he can come back in, we don't anticipate him coming back in. This is not college soccer where you can sub somebody and have that person return. So Malik Burchett is in now, wearing number 20, as the Black Knights and Nittany Lions get together again. It was Matt Sherman, the Army coach, who said, "We're looking forward to applying the many lessons learned from last week's contest. We believe if we do so, we can take a big step forward as a team in our journey this season." and will need to do so to earn competitive success against an always formidable foe in Penn State. Nittany Lions with a scrum here, 3rd minute, as the referee is not pleased with the front rows. They have to work together in order to work against each other. It's like the chicken or the egg. Elijah Magis, the vice captain for Army, said that playing Penn State is a great opportunity. He says, quote, "We get to play them every year, and it's always a great challenge to face them. We're excited to get into conference play, and this will be a good, intense game to start the season." Another vice captain, Matt DeFreight, said, "We learned a lot about ourselves from our game last week against Trinity, both in what we did well and what to improve on. Penn State's going to be a great opportunity to test ourselves again. We're all looking forward to the chance to compete and apply the lessons learned." So let's see what they have learned as the Nittany Lions will control here. Hunter White, among those handling the ball, to be offloaded now to Ian DiPangrazio. DiPangrazio gets knocked down, though, as the Black Knights continue to be physical here in the early going. Trying to slip through, though, is Robert Durkash. Shifted back well, goes through a hand, but it'll be sent back and kept at the 10. It was not forward, it was not knocked ahead, so play can continue. As fishing it out is Giancarlo Nastasi, and we have a whistle. Looks like it was knocked ahead. The Black Knights have made some news in recent days. 3 men from Army named D1A Collegiate All-Americans by CRAA. Lucas Pattinson and Tian Mosconi named to the All-America team. The recently graduated Larry Williams, honorable mention. More on him in just a moment, as Mosconi was nominated for the Scholes Award this year as the best player in men's college rugby. Williams won the Scholes last year and captained last year's team to that national title, or at least the previous year's team in 2021. Williams was invited to compete in the USA Rugby High Performance Next Gen Tight 5 camp. The train trying to get everybody involved here. Again, no rain in the forecast. Kickoff temperature, 68 degrees. But again, no rain in the forecast. We've seen a lot of that in recent days as the Black Knights try to get towards midfield. Chewing up some yardage and territory. This is not football, as this one might have been forward. Penn State will take it anyway. DiPangrazio will get towards the Army 10. Kicked ahead. It's a live ball as Army will have it go out of bounds. And we have a whistle as the referee, I think, is calling for time off here, as somebody else might have a bit of a trickle of blood here. No, I see back at midfield there's an injured player for Army, or at least somebody who might be having a bit of a cramp here. This sport demands a lot. As the train goes by, it makes a lot of noise. It wishes it could take part in this game, but it can't. So more on Larry Williams, who graduated this past spring. He was named to the Atlantic Coast All-Star team for the World University Rugby Invitational in Bordeaux, France. Competition starts this Thursday and lasts for a week. As you would expect, Larry was very gracious in this announcement. He said, as we look at the Army player who is, don't think we have an identity on him yet. They're telling me that TJ Rottello is the man who is getting some attention right now, as Army has had a couple of strokes of bad luck so far. Tianga out in the first minute with what looked like some blood. And while he is sitting up, not encouraging as far as this game goes for Rottello. You know, this sport demands a lot. The coaches aren't just showing technique, they're learning how to do these techniques safely. And that's not a good sign. He is not moving that right arm at all. So it looks like the Black Knights are going to their bench quickly in this contest. 5 minutes in, as the line out will be taken by Army here, and they'll try to go forward. We have a whistle as the referee wants to have a conversation. Unfortunately, we don't have him mic'd today, but I'm very curious to what's going on out there right now. They might be doing this again. I did not see a card given, so nobody's trotting off the field, but he's trying to make it so he wants to make sure that everybody understands what's expected here. So Army will try again here. Line out successful. Now they try to drive forward. Burchett, who's in the game now for Tianga. We'll see what Army can do to try to shake off the early adversity here. Kick nice and high in the air. There's no mark taken. It's not in their own 22. It'll be taken by DiPangrazio for Penn State. As Nittany Lions will go back to work. Trying to drive through is Durkash. And a good tackle there by Burchett, who again, I'm sure did not expect to get into the game so soon. On the far side, trying to run with it is Stoppelworth for PSU, but he's able to offload it. And the ball slips out. Army will get control of it. But Penn State hot on it right away, and there's a tackle over the touchline. So more on Larry Williams about his opportunity in Bordeaux. He said, this wouldn't be possible without the awesome support of my rugby family and everyone who played a role into making me the player I am today. There's some solid players in the squad, and I'm ready to go compete against some of the best in the world. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I'm ready to get to work and put my hand up on the world stage. Competition begins this Thursday and lasts for a week. As we see the replay there on the tackle out of bounds. Penn State is not afraid right now, and I think they feel like with a couple of guys for Army banged up in the early goal, that gives them some confidence. Kind of like what Duke said in Rocky IV. You see, he's not a machine. In some respects, Army has been, especially lately against Penn State. Can they get it out to the near side? They might not need to, as here comes Nate Goldenflight. Offload now to Oglesby. Try to get it back, he does, and it's Austin Londo who has come on, presumably. For TJ Rotella, we have a whistle against Penn State. Well, Austin Londo not afraid to get involved in the early going. This is an opportunity for the Spares, who are getting some significant minutes right now. Again, if you joined us late, Tianga and Rotella are out early with injuries. Johnny Haley will get it closer, and Army will set up about 15 away, maybe 10. Or pardon me, is that Dom Tianga back in the lineup for Army? He must have just had a brief respite because of blood. So he looks like he's okay. Unless they've supplanted a new number 6, that is Dom out there, and he's getting ready to toss this one back in. So that's good news. Important that Army secures the lineout and keeps things going. And it looks like another player down for Penn State, Giancarlo Nastasi. He gets the attention he needs, and he's ready to go again. Have I mentioned how demanding the sport can be? Caught well, and now Army forms the ball and tries to drive forward. But Penn State pushing back very well. Army tries to be quick. Liskey tries to barrel his way through. Secures the ball. Shifted back now. Engels. Shoestring tackle as Army gets 10. They're 10 away from the first points of the match. Shifted back again. Again, this is not gridiron football. There's no 4-down territory here. We're not in the Southern Hemisphere either, where there's a 5th tackle and you got to get rid of it. Some people would say that's not really rugby. We have a whistle. And this one's going against Penn State. I think they weren't releasing. And diving in, Army gets the first points of the match. That was quick and relatively painless when you consider how difficult things have been for Army the early going with injuries off the hop. Looks like that might have been Ben Richards that got the try. So the Black Knights asserting themselves well. It took a while because of the injuries to Tianga and Ritello, but they put themselves in the driver's seat. And now the conversion is coming up here just to the right of the sticks. They're telling me that Nate Gould was the one that got the ball into the try zone. Yep, that's been confirmed. So Nate, who scored against Trinity Dublin and made that match interesting, has given Army the lead. And the quick restart you see there, Gould had it and found his way in. Johnny Haley with the conversion makes it 7-0. So the party has started, and it looks like all is well. Army West Point's top priority is to develop leaders prepared to fight winter nations battles. As the world's preeminent leadership institution, the Academy focuses on producing people who exude trust, accountability, passion, integrity, and empathy. To learn more, visit goarmywestpoint.com. Here comes Magis. His position is number 8 because he wears number 8. And this one is going against Army, not releasing the ball. Once you're down, you got to get rid of it. You can't hold on to it forever. One last note about what Larry Williams has coming up in Bordeaux. The other teams in this pool, again, his team is the Atlantic Coast All-Star team for the World University Rugby Invitational in Bordeaux. Wait a second, I'll finish that in a moment. It looks like Stephen Hoey is going to have a penalty kick here. The man in pink thought that the infringement is so severe that it warranted a try here from about, we'll call it 32 or so meters. So roughly 35 yards away. Trying to get the Nittany Lions on the board. Long enough. And it's good. Stephen Hoey belts that one through, and Penn State is on the board. It's 7-3. So the Nittany Lions needed that after the early Army score. There's nothing to it. Rugby ball is obviously very different from an American football, and in the cold, it feels like you're kicking a bowling ball or this heavy bag of kitty litter. So the Black Knights and Nittany Lions have exchanged pleasantries on the scoreboard, and both teams think the feeling out process has ended. And this one is going to be out of bounds. So that'll set up a scrum at midfield. So again, Larry Williams, Atlantic Coast All-Star team for the World University Rugby Invitational in Bordeaux, starts this coming Thursday. Other teams in the pool come from the University of Cape Town, South Africa, New Zealand universities, New Zealand, another place where rugby is a religion, University of British Columbia. People in Canada like their rugby. UBC will not be an easy team to beat, I can tell you that. Université de Bordeaux, so the home team, and Sydney University, Australia. What a remarkable experience for a guy that did a lot here. And his journey is still continuing. As Army continues pushing back. And a whistle. As someone has been trying to pull down the scrum or maybe wheeling a little bit. So Penn State will get control at midfield. You can use Twitter to keep up with the latest news information about the Army West Point men's rugby team. The handle is Army_WP_MRugby. Army_WP_MRugby. Short kick, so Army gets control. Everybody making sure they're on side and in good position here. There's no play clock, but the referee can tell you to hurry it up if he wants. Kick nice and high. It's a live ball. It'll be caught this time by White, and he is decked at his own 10. Comes back to Hoey. He'll boot this one away as the Black Knights will get control once more. Kick forward downfield again, and having to go chase it is Nastasi. And they're still going to play hot potato. Got that one off the side of his foot as the Black Knights kick it on the ground. I think that might have been Nate Gould again on the far side. It'll be out of bounds as Army wins the field position battle. They've got Penn State inside their own 10. I know it looks crazy, and those of you north of the border say this looks like a kick out at the end of the game. That's okay. Rugby is a wonderful thing. Army football hosts Boston College October 7th at noon. Tickets remain available for that game. Please visit GoArmyWestPoint.com/tickets to check which seats at Michie Stadium remain empty for you to buy. What a spectacle last night. Yes. Those who said that the Brave Old Army team could not complete a forward pass, I got news for you, and it's the front page 3-inch headlines. And they look good doing it too. Not charged down. Penn State get it away quickly. That wasn't forward, or was it? Yes, it was. The man in pink thought about it for a second. Now he's whistled it down. A little bit herky-jerky to start for both teams, but Army still in front, 7-3. So it'll set up a Penn State scrum here. Up for auction, you'll find a ball for the Army women's soccer team's win over Air Force last week. Army coach Tracy Chow has signed and inscribed it. Bidding ends this coming Friday. Proceeds spent over 1,000 cadet athletes. To find it, visit the official Twitter account of Army West Point Authentic AWP Memorabilia. The choir can keep a beat. That's the good news. And we have a whistle. So the referee explains to both front rows what he expects. And now he's going to move things back. That's why I'm grateful we had the referee from last week's women's match mic'd up so you can hear exactly what's going on. I can't tell if this referee is more like Nigel Owens or Wayne Barnes. Penn State will try again. This is such an unnatural position, so we're grateful for those that try to do this. If I ever played this sport competitively, I'd probably be that guy down on the near side. I probably would be Shane Sunday. I'd probably have that job because I can't kick and I can't run, at least not fast. Not saying he's slow. He has to be faster than me. He got in here. Aiden King gets wrapped up. Among those getting him is Dylan Liskey. We have a whistle. Not releasing, so Army must back off. Here comes Treaster. Lucky Treaster gets knocked down. Able to defer now to Nastasi, who lost it in Army. Trying to counter quickly. Here comes Tianga. Tianga, who had a bloody nose, I think, in the opening minute, is trying to cause some havoc for the Nittany Lions. Kick deep on the near side. It's a live ball. Running after it is Gould, but getting there first to touch it down will be Di Pangrazio. So that's a wise decision by the Nittany Lions to just have it blown dead in their own in-goal area. And the referee will set up a scrum just outside it. Are you going to say dropout here? Now it looks like it will be a dropout for Penn State here. Approaching the midway point of the first half. Oglesby lets it go by. Mosconi has it go through him. Picked back up by Haley. He'll get rid of it. And it looks like we're going to have a mark. No, it's dropped. Live ball. Hoey lost it in the gray sky. Gets rid of it, almost charged down, and it'll be kicked out of bounds. Mosconi gets it back in quickly, overshoots Haley right now. Both teams need they need to split a chill pill right now. There's a lot going on. This is blocked. It continues. Mosconi. No, pardon me, it was Tianga who had an offload intended for Oglesby, and it goes out of bounds. Make that a full chill pill for each team. They can't split what I think they each need a healthy dosage. They got to take a breath right now. They're trying to do too much, both sides.
Hey, it's our lineup, boys. Let's go.
It's a big game. They're all big games at this point. But right now, there's not a whole lot of organization at the moment for either team. Penn State with a line out here. Touched well by Masterson, back to Nastasi. As Nittany Lions trying to work, but they spill the beans again. Shifted back now for Gould, who kicks it. It's a live ball. Penn State back to get it. And just able to get it away. With the ball handling adventures, you might see more kicking if it keeps up. One team trying to wait out the other to make a mistake. Bill Bolt has some advice. Dom Tianga getting ready to toss this one back in. It's straight enough. Army will keep possession and try to just drive forward. Hanging on to the ball is obviously the important thing right now, and we have a whistle. Not releasing called against Penn State, and we have a whistle, and it looks like a penalty has been given. And Johnny Haley, I think, wants the tee. Wait a second, there's a conversation now with Dalton Musselman for Penn State. I don't see the tee coming out, so it might just be a conversation as the referee said time off. Dalton Musselman getting a talking to for the man in pink. He's telling him, I don't want to see what's in my wallet because the card's maxed out. But I need you to behave yourself, sir. Haley has a plan. And he's going to kick it into touch. It bounces in play. I think he wanted to kick it a little bit longer, but he was trying to get it as far down the field as he could. The time you see on the screen is how much is truly left. But if the team has possession, the buzzer sounds, they can keep going until they turn it over or score. The referee says it's time to go. Important line out at the 5 for Army. They continue to push and push and push. Can somebody get it down, though? They say they're short. Army has to secure that ball. Wait a second. The referee has not given a signal yet. He may need to consult with his assistant. He did not say held or try. Is he looking to stop the clock again? He talks with his assistant. This is an important play in the game. A knock on. So no score there. This will set up another scrum in the shadow of the sticks. The train says hello. Momentum continues to build for the Mikey Stadium Preservation Project. All the suites of the proposed East stands have been sold, as well as most of the loge boxes. The Army West Point Athletic Association with an update on the project after this football season, with an anticipated target opening for the renovated stadium ahead of the 2026 season. For more information, visit MikeyStadium.com. The Glee Club, at least the second stringers, are in tune better than they were last time. Penn State trying to get rid of it. Army pushing them back. The Nittany Lions cannot afford to make a ball handling error or some other infringement here. And this one will be booted away. The Black Knights trying to get back inside the 22 quickly. Haley, quick inside offload. Army just trying to be patient here. Trying to be overly physical with Penn State, believing that they are the superior team physically. As the crawling continues. Manges. Got on the far side is Army. Continuing with good possession here. Quick, back it came. It's a live ball. It comes now to Bolt with a big hit on somebody for Penn State. I think it was Treaster. Liskey shovels it to Haley. Haley looks to pass. Oglesby makes the catch. He's got some speed. Oglesby tries to take two Nittany Lions, put him inside the 5. Army thirsty for another try. Gold can't get in just yet. The door is locked, looking for a key under the mat. No signal yet. And it does not look like Army has scored here. They were close again, and if you're the Black Knights, you have to hope that these missed opportunities don't come back to haunt them. The referee signal a knock on, so the other scrum for Penn State near their in-goal area again. Andrew Barnack doing a lot of the talking right now as he's assembling that front row for this important scrum for Penn State. They got plenty of backs behind their scrum. I would assume that unless they find it open, they'll kick it away as soon as they can get it back there. That big hit by Bill Bolt. Just running over somebody for Penn State. Army's not afraid to bring the heat, but they got to put points on the board. They'll shift it back out. They get beyond the 5 as Treaster tries to come forward. Almost charged down. Kicked nice and high. Army will try to get back in quickly. And instead, it'll just be a line out, I think, here.
Let's go, boys!
They've had all kinds of territory, but they only lead 7-3. This year's Army Sports Hall of Fame induction banquet happens Friday, October 6th. Begins at 6 o'clock at West Point's Eisenhower Hall. To buy individual tickets and reserve a table at 10, visit goarbywestpoint.com. For more information, please contact the RBA Club at 845-938-2322. And we have a whistle as the referee is signaling a scrum here at the 10. Conversation right now with Bill Bolt again for the referee, just making sure that the integrity of the front row is going to be ensured as Giancarlo Nastasi will toss it back into that big pile for Penn State. It's like putting a coin into the slot to activate the mechanical bull. You don't know where it's going, neither do I. Sister Mary Clarence has done a great job with that glee club. Shift it back as Penn State go to work. The wind might have taken that one, but I think Army is going to have an advantage here. So if this doesn't work out, the restore point on your hard drive will be back inside the 10. Kicked along, live ball to go out of bounds, and we'll see what the referee decides to do here. Looks like they'll play it over there. So he doesn't need the restore point for your hard drive or your system. It'll be a Penn State line out coming up. 12.5 left in the opening half. Army at a try by Nate Gould in front 7-3. Wind is going to wreak havoc at Army with an interception. They'll take it away. They got to put points on the board here. We have another whistle. It's got to be frustrating for Matt Sherman right now. As soon as Army takes a step forward, they find a pothole or a trap door or something that Fido left behind that you don't want to step in. Referee says right outside the 5 as Penn State will just try, I think, again to see if they can run out with it first. If not, just boot it away. Dylan Liskey directing traffic for the backs. Think talking to Gannon Conrad there. Music to our ears, and we have a whistle. This one will be against Army. So Stephen Howe will get a chance to kick this into touch. This is the intercept. I think it was Dom Tianga who made the intercept there. And a good tackle to ward it off as he tried to get rid of it quickly. Army continues pushing back, and now they've got the ball. Almost picked off, and it will be. It's still on the deck. Penn State come up with it in Army with a handling error here, but let's see what the referee says. He says knock on. A scrum will be at the Penn State 10. Calls for an intentional knock on, which would prompt a yellow card. Go unheard. I believe it was Wayne Barnes who actually said once in a match, and I saw this on YouTube once, as I tried to learn about him, if you ask for a yellow card, you'll get one. So everybody's got to be careful. This is not soccer. Neither team has handled the ball all that great today, and we can't blame the weather because there's no rain. Tian Mosconi will put this one back in. He's got it now, and Army shifting well, right side. And we have a whistle. Is this forward? Yes. That was close. Feels like lateral is forward today. Admittedly, this has not been pretty, but Army is still in front 7-3.
Let's go, boys!
Keep in mind that Army West Point athletes are not just cadet athletes, but also Warrior scholars. Army represents Warrior and West Point represents Scholar. To separate them would take away the purpose of the U.S. Military Academy. They come together as one to outsmart the enemy. Nastasi puts this one in. Gets it back, and Penn State will go back to work. Treaster with some good moves there. Bumping into his own man, Musselman. And now it is Moriaru. Good offload by Moriaru as it came to White. Shifted back quickly as Army saying none shall pass. Richardson on the tackle. Brought down was Treaster again. This time it was Mangis in on the attack. The pushing continues. And this one's going against Army for being a bit overly aggressive. Penn State has to feel very confident right now. They're very much in this game as this will be kicked downfield by Hovey. 8 minutes left, opening half, 7-3 Army. Matt Sherman probably has a lot of things he's going to say at halftime. And that notepad continues, I think, getting bigger and bigger. You can now buy single game tickets for the upcoming Army hockey season, as well as full season tickets, mini plans, and group tickets. Visit GarberWestPoint.com for more details and to make purchases. To request new ringside season tickets, please call the Army 8 Club at 845-938-2322. Army able to pick that one off and get it back. No, pardon me. It'll be Penn State's ball still. I thought they might have come away with it. Nice and high. Coming up to get it. It's Mosconi, tries to go forward. But he is met by Stoppelworth. Just nurse the ball right now for Army. No handling errors. Just keep it going. Mosconi. Had a feeling he'd kick it. It's been that kind of a day. And making a catch with his whole body is Nastasi. But he runs into Liski. If we were at Crystal Arena, the mat was down, everybody yelling 2. Here comes number 2, Bilbo. Adam Bilbo. Toss it off now for Stoppelworth. Shoestring tackle made by Bolt. Live ball, and we have a whistle. And this one's going against Army. In addition to the handling errors, Army has to clean up the discipline. Nastasi gives it to Hoey, and Hoey will get his leg out again. Going to be kept in, no. So Penn State's in business inside the 22. 6 minutes left here in the opening half. Check out the official online store of Army West Point. You can browse the complete selection of officially licensed apparel and merchandise by visiting shop.goarbysports.com. Again, shop.goarbysports.com. This one put back in near side. It's intercepted now by MRugby. On the far side, as Penn State continue to just mind the store here. Just not make any mistakes. Treaster gets knocked down as Penn State trying to do the same thing Army's doing. No mistakes with the ball. Here comes Bilbo. Bilbo gets gang tackled by a one-man crew. Bilbo comes to Hoey, who kicks it deep. And calling for a mark and a wise decision is Haley. So here's the line out. Penn State overshot it. And this was the recent opportunity for Army as it came right back to Londo. So Haley gets ready to unload here. Kicks it deep, and at midfield it's Hoey, who says, I don't want it. Into the wind they go. Right now the wind might have shifted to give Army a bit of a float. White had to go back and get it. Back to his 22. Mosconi kicks it back. It gets away from Musselman, who has to track it down. Looks like he wanted to have another kick at it, but instead hands it off to Treaster. And a good offload, but a great shirt tackle on Durkash, I think, as Penn State thought they might have had something, but Black Knights able to recover just in time. Treaster on the far side as Penn State continue, as I think they want a high tackle or something like that on the far side. Everybody's hopping up and down on the Penn State sideline. As the battle continues, you can see a quick offload there. And I think that was a wrap by Austin Londo, who might have made a try-saving tackle there around the shirt. And now the referee and assistant continue to have a conversation. I believe he called for time off with under 3 minutes left here in the opening half. So there's an explanation. It's the only one they're getting, so they don't have to like it. And now the referee has a conversation. Looks like with Mosconi. For those new to the sport, it is one of civility. You never say a four-letter word to the ref. Among those four-letter words, darn. You don't say that either. And now the referee says time on. The sands from the hourglass can come back down again as Penn State will kick this in a touch. Not quite to the bus. I don't think the driver wants to play. He might be napping. This is an important play because neither team has done a whole lot offensively. It has not been pretty. And Army intercept the line out and will try to come forward with it. A little over 2 minutes left. Again, the clock you see on the screen, they don't add time. There's not stoppage time like the international soccer, but as long as Army can maintain possession for the next 2 minutes, They can keep going until they either score or make some kind of mistake. This one will be kicked away. Comes to White. White fakes the kick, hands it off now for Morariu, and he gets tackled. Ball was out briefly. As Treaster's on the bottom of the pile there somewhere. Hoey on the far side as the Black Knights continue to keep Penn State at bay. Somebody drove forward for Penn State. Play allowed to continue. As the Nittany Lions continue to put some good phases together here. And now we have a whistle. And this one's going against Army. Now I'm really curious what Matt Sherman's going to say at halftime. Not quite to the bus as we reach the last of the first 40. Hosier, I think, has a conversation with Bilbo. Another important line out. Not clean. We have a whistle. Knocked ahead, it looks like. No, I'm going to call it. Is that intentional? Well, I don't see a card. Either way, Penn State will get the ball back here. And a good driving tackle back. Army continue to try to bully Penn State. Pass comes up to DiPengrazio. Good shoestring tackle to try to slow him up. But the struggle is certainly real here, and it comes out of bounds. And that might be the last meaningful play of the first half. Now it looks like we're going to get one more here. Again, the referee has the ultimate say on how much time is left. So Army looks like we'll get one more kick in the can here with a line out. Curious whether they try to come downfield or not. With where they are, they might just kick it at a touch and call it a break. It's executed well. Now they're going to secure possession and keep going. Stabilizing them all. Nice and high. Live ball. Caught by DiPengrazio, who looks to come forward, but he is met with resistance. Among those involved, Liskey. Hosier. Now to Stopplesworth, who gets tackled. A good hit by Sunday on Treaster. That was powerful. One of the harder ones we've seen so far. Kick by Hoey. Taken by Moscona. We have a whistle. And somebody for Army is down at around the 10. Is that Austin Londo, who I believe came in for TJ Rotello. But it rains, it pours right now for Army. It's not a mash unit yet, but it's flooding the kitchen. Again, if you missed it earlier, TJ Rotello was hurt about 5 minutes into the game at midfield, was not moving his right arm as he came off the field. Dom Tiang, I think, had a nosebleed in the opening minute. Briefly coming in, I think, was Malik Burchett, but they were able to patch up Tiang and he came back in. Have we not mentioned how demanding the sport can be? Looks like it just might be a cramp. As you see, we have lots of people upstairs looking around to see what is going to happen next. There's a massive brain trust, and yes, there's a guy who's glad to have the suspenders on and to shed the jacket because it is warm enough to do so. We're glad to be back here, and while I want to thank everybody who was part of last weekend's hurry-up offense, no huddle offense, to borrow a football term. It's difficult to have a change of venue on short notice, and we were able to do it twice because Anderson Rugby Complex was unplayable as Lano's coming off the field. People in game ops who make these decisions to help teams be able to play these games, Among them, Shane Bell, Associate AD for Event Operations, Facilities, and Capital Projects. Emily Polanowitz, the Director of Internal Operations. And, of course, Gene McIntyre, who is the sports supervisor for both rugby teams here at the Academy. Everybody trying to be a weather person last week was pretty good because I think they got everything right. As Stephen Hoey looks to go 2 for 2 on penalty kicks today. He boots that one, and I think that's the final play of the first half. Well, good news for Army is they have the lead. Bad news is I think it's debatable whether they played well or not in that first half. Penn State was not much better. But the Black Knights lead the Nittany Lions 7-6. Nate Gould got the try. Johnny Haley converted. Stephen Hoey with 2 penalty kicks. It wasn't pretty, but it's still been fun to watch because these men are giving their all. We will step aside and come back with the second half. You're watching this beautiful rugby match on the Army West Point Athletics YouTube channel.
When pain wants to keep you on the sidelines, know you have options to keep you doing what you love. As one of the world's leading medical technology companies, Stryker offers innovative foot and ankle products that help you get back in the game and on your feet. Stryker and Army West Point Athletics have joined forces to help you learn more about foot and ankle pain and provide you resources so you can find a specialist in your area. Visit Stryker.com/WestPoint to learn more.
Attention veterans, you can shop tax-free for life. Come home to your military exchanges for tax-free shopping, exclusive pricing, and free shipping options. 100% of earnings go back to military communities, keeping today's military ready and resilient. You served, you sacrificed, you earned this benefit. Visit shopmyexchange.com/vets to shop and save today.
He may not turn out to be a black belt or play Carnegie Hall.
He'll take the chicken fingers.
But with the money you earn from your Penn-Fed checking and savings accounts,
He's growing up. Look at him.
your goal of supporting his dreams will always be worth it.
I got it.
PenFed's got great rates for everyone.
At the United States Military Academy, you're on the team from day one.
A team where people are the #1 priority and winning matters.
A team of scholars, athletes, and leaders, each striving to become all that they can be.
Are you ready to join our team? West Point,
where leaders are.
When pain wants to keep you on the sidelines, know you have options to keep you doing what you love. As one of the world's leading medical technology companies, Stryker offers innovative foot and ankle products that help you get back in the game and on your feet. Stryker and Army West Point Athletics have joined forces to help you learn more about foot and ankle pain and provide you resources so you can find a specialist in your area. Visit Stryker.com/WestPoint to learn more.
Attention veterans. You can shop tax-free for life. Come home to your military exchanges for tax-free shopping, exclusive pricing, and free shipping options. 100% of earnings go back to military communities, keeping today's military ready and resilient. You served. You sacrificed. You earned this benefit. Visit shopmyexchange.com/vets to shop and save today.
He may not turn out to be a black belt or play Carnegie Hall.
He'll take the chicken fingers.
But with the money you earn from your Penn-Fed checking and savings accounts,
He's growing up. Look at him.
your goal of supporting his dreams will always be worth it.
I got it.
PenFed's got great rates for everyone.
At the United States Military Academy, you're on the team from day one.
A team where people are the #1 priority and winning matters.
A team of scholars, athletes, and leaders, each striving to become all that they can be.
Are you ready to join our team?
West Point, where leaders are.
When pain wants to keep you on the sidelines, know you have options to keep you doing what you love. As one of the world's leading medical technology companies, Stryker offers innovative foot and ankle products that help you get back in the game and on your feet. Stryker and Army West Point Athletics have joined forces to help you learn more about foot and ankle pain and provide you resources so you can find a specialist in your area. Visit Stryker.com/WestPoint to learn more.
Attention veterans. You can shop tax-free for life. Come home to your military exchanges for tax-free shopping, exclusive pricing, and free shipping options. 100% of earnings go back to military communities, keeping today's military ready and resilient. You served. You sacrificed. You earned this benefit. Visit shopmyexchange.com/vets to shop and save today.
He may not turn out to be a black belt or play Carnegie Hall.
He'll take the chicken fingers.
But with the money you earn from your Penn-Fed checking and savings accounts,
He's growing up. Look at him.
your goal of supporting his dreams will always be worth it.
I got it.
PenFed's got great rates for everyone.
At the United States Military Academy, you're on the team from day one.
A team where people are the #1 priority and winning matters.
A team of scholars, athletes, and leaders, each striving to become all that they can be.
Are you ready to join our team?
West Point, where leaders are.
When pain wants to keep you on the sidelines, know you have options to keep you doing what you love. As one of the world's leading medical technology companies, Stryker offers innovative foot and ankle products that help you get back in the game and on your feet. Stryker and Army West Point Athletics have joined forces to help you learn more about foot and ankle pain and provide you resources so you can
of Anderson Rugby Complex. Looked like he needed a Zantac or Pepto-Bismol or some kind of Rolaids, and I don't blame him. Hopefully, the message was received loudly and clearly as the second half begins, as Morario takes some contact as he tries to move forward for Penn State. Both teams need to handle the ball better. That's an understatement. Nastasi kicks it high. Bounced around like a fish, and it's picked up now by DeFreitas, who gets tumbled just behind midfield. Roly-poly continues, and now we have a bit of a meaningful silence as it's pushed forward again. So that's what Matt Sherman looked like, what Justin Hundley looked like. His team did not play any better, I think, in that first half. That's okay. The second half is here. And based on the initial returns, it looks like both teams are a little bit sharper here, a little more spirited than they were in the first half. And a good tackle by Sunday on Bilbo. It was Treaster. It's a lot of muscle coming together. King drives forward. Because of the white jerseys, Penn State is where he can tell who's playing hard with all the grass stains. This is fun. And it is shifted back far side. Michael Wine into the game now for Penn State. And getting hauled down was DiPangrazio. This one is shifted back off of a hand of Bilbo. And ultimately now for Masterson. I don't think they expected the ball to go in that instance. Was there obstruction? Yes, there was. This is not football. You can't block downfield. It's more like hockey. You can't pick. And so Army gets a break here at the start of the second half. You can still buy single game tickets for Army football, mini plans, group sales, premium tailgates. For more information, visit GoArmyWestPoint.com/tickets to learn more about this season's promotional days and other game day activities at Mikey Stadium. Visit ArmyGameDay.com. So let's see if the energy for the team in black has changed here. Bolt plays, it's Tianga getting the instructions from Bolt here. Received well by Richards. Now can Army support him? It escapes to Bardak. Shifts it off now for Liskey. Liskey gets to the 22. And we have a whistle. And this one is going to go against Penn State. It is somebody dove in or may have gone in from the side. Yes, rugby, when the ball forms at a scrum, there's no side door. There's a front door, there's a back door, that's it. There's a doggy door, but that's not a side door. Army will continue pushing the tempo here. They set up a line out. They had a couple opportunities to score in the first half that went by the boards. They could be up by a lot more than a single point. They got to make good here. Bolt tells Tianga another dirty joke and gets ready to go. It is short. You can do that. It's inside the 5. And we have a whistle, and this one's going against Army. Once again, the conductor starts conducting. The tempo is moving, the crescendo's building, and a baton goes flying into the woodwind section. And that ball goes flying into the front row. This place can seat 1,000. I don't think we have that today, but we've got some very happy people who are glad to be back here. Again, Shea Stadium last week, it served its purpose. There's still some patches in the middle of the field here, but this pitch is in good shape. Bilbo knocked away. We have a whistle. And this will be against Army. You can't swat it like a fly. You got to try to make a catch. So Daniel Morariu will get ready to launch. I just hope he doesn't end up putting it here. It's away from me, but it's further down this second rail here. Penn State will have an opportunity here at around the Army 10. Remember that competing as varsity athletes helps cadets learn how to win in the battlefield. Athletics instills tenacity, resilience, discipline, mental and physical toughness, and the desire to excel. Grit and perseverance are the same things that winning platoon leaders and company commanders. When cadets graduate, we've got a whistle. And it looks like this one will be against Penn State. I don't think that toss was straight. Tianga says, I don't like this ball. Give me another. Bolt says, this one looks good to me. All kinds of confusion. It's not like gridiron football where once the quarterback says set, the lineman can't move.
Let's go, boys!
Kick back down as Penn State will go to work as Morariu shifts it back now for Wine. It is dropped, though, by Musselman. And it's just a knock on. It is a break for Army. How many more breaks are they going to get? 6 minutes in, second half. Army in front by a single point. It has not been pretty, but Picasso would appreciate the effort. Important that both sides, the front rows in particular, are amenable to the referee's instructions here, and that they are willing to form the scrum. And we have a whistle, and the referee is not pleased as he has a conversation. Looks like he's talking to both front rows here. So they're all in trouble for now, but it doesn't look like that much trouble. He's got a smile that says, I know you can be better. A dissonant chord never sounded sweeter. Can Army be quick off the scrum and get a score that provides some breathing room here? Defrates, works it back. Haley had that one slip out. It's loose because it wasn't forward. Wait a second. Now they call a knock on. This will be against Army. For a second, I thought it wasn't forward, and maybe the Black Knights had basically caught a break. Again, both sides have been guilty of not handling the ball well today. It's not so much one more than the other, but I think with Army it's magnified because they've had more chances to score than Penn State has. Giancarlo Nastasi will toss this one into that mosh pit of confusion once it forms properly. It doesn't matter how tall you are. You have to meet each other. That chord sounded like it was in tune. Nastasi puts it in, gets it back. Getting wrapped up and getting taken down on the near side. That was Treaster again. He's got a lot of green on that shirt. It has nothing to do with Michigan State. And they call a high tackle against Army. Play continues now for the Nittany Lions. King offloaded now for Treaster again. He got it off left side now for Morariu, who's got a chance. Able to offload it out for Nastasi. He still got it. Penn State's best chance to score all day. We've got a whistle, though. Not releasing, I think, is the call against Penn State, and if so, Army has dodged the biggest cannonball of the day. Once you are down, you have to surrender the ball. You got to give it to a teammate. But that was Penn State's best run of the day by a country mile. They ran it pretty quickly. It came to MRugby, and a good tug of the shirt there at the end, as Nastasi ultimately, I think, did not release it. The referee sets up shop just over the Army half of midfield. Bolt gives instructions to Tianga again. Tremendous movement by Army. The troops are moving again. The soldiers are in good formation. Kick nice and high. Calling for a mark at the 22. Or the Nittany Lions, they can do that. And that's a wise decision. This one does not come near our broadcast location, but at least they have us tracked now. We'll see what they spot. It looks like it'll be just outside the Penn State 10. Tianga will try again. As Bolt, I wonder what flavor that mouthpiece is. We'll go back into the line. This part, Army has down to a science. This has been a strength of theirs today. But Penn State, with some good movement to push back. Here comes Richards. Richards gets wrapped up, though. The tackling continues. Penn State has been very, very game, has not been afraid to get physical with Army today. Fake kick. It's an improvisational play by Mosconi. He wanted to get rid of it. We got a whistle. And this one looks like it'll go against Penn State for not releasing on the tackle. And a referee has a conversation with somebody for Army. Presumably Haley will kick it when play resumes. Gets it downfield, and the assistant had his flag up, and Penn State put it right back in. Juggled by Mosconi, hangs onto it, tries to hurdle his way through. Are there hurdles set up at Shea? Are they all at Gillis? Let's see how he does when they're standing for him. Sunday pushes forward. As the Black Knights continue to push. The assistant's flag did go up, right? Not sure what that was all about. This one is spilled. Penn State, quick restart. Advantage was given. As the Nittany Lions come back to midfield. But a good tackle. I believe that is Treaster again running for Penn State. Back to midfield, big hit. As Durkash put his head down and introduced somebody to his shoulder. This one is spilled, it's not forward though. That might have been. Referee says play on. We have a whistle. High tackle against Army again. And somebody for Penn State is slow to get up. Army has to be careful. Because sometimes it's not one tackle in particular, but a cumulative series of infringements, like a high tackle, can lead to somebody going off for 10 minutes. And now the discussion continues as we get later into this game. Penn State will move things down. Not quite to the 22, but they'll set up shop with 26 minutes left. You can place your deposit now for new Army basketball season tickets. Full schedules will follow shortly and final payments will be due next month. Visit CorbettWestPoint.com/tickets for a new era at Crystal Arena. Season ticket renewals for basketball also happen shortly when the full schedule releases. It wasn't straight, but Army picks it up anyway. And going for a stroll. I think that was Moscone. We have a whistle. And another call against Army and the Army contingent. There are many of them. Not quite apoplectic, but clearly unhappy. People did say during the half that while he's been consistent, the man in pink has been very, I don't want to say touchy, but he's caught a lot of things. He's been consistent, but he's not letting the boys play. That's what I heard during halftime. Can't disagree. But again, he's been consistent, so he's not doing anything wrong. And right now, Penn State's having a hard time locating on the line out. This is a live ball. It's rolling. It's rolling to the 22. As the Nittany Lions able to fall on it, but Army hot on the tail. This one might have been partially blocked. It's out of bounds. You get a sense that for Army, something's about to happen. They've had the territory, they've had more scoring chances, but they're only up by a single point. Penn State line out. They can only get better in this facet of the game here. They're able to execute that one. And they're not looking to kick right away. Almost charged down. Army got the pressure on, and it'll go out well short of the 10. A lot of tension right now because I think a lot of people on post did not expect this game to be close. And we've got some substitutions, at least one coming on. Charlie Rolink, I think, is the one coming on. So he's in. And coming off is Shane Sunday. He definitely made himself a part of this game, we'll say that much. Now the pieces are starting to move on the chessboard. Army executes another good line out. Can they make something happen, though? Good offload here. Again, they just have to find a way to generate some positive momentum here. No ball handling errors. Oglesby gets taken down. Army fans yelling for a release. The referee doesn't blow the whistle. Comes to Tianga. Shovels it now for Gould. The pushing continues. Penn State thought they had it. And the referee says, come back here, come back here. It looks like the Nittany Lions will have possession, but the referee says, I blew my whistle. You're going to start here. Giancarlo Nastasi will have the ball here, or actually he's giving it away now. Looks like Hoey will try to launch this one off of his foot. This one makes its way up there, and pardon me, it was actually Morari who got this one up here to the balcony. As we are approaching the midway point of the second half. As it looks like Penn State's made another substitution. And I'm trying to see who came on and who came off. We'll find out soon enough as it's Justin Hundley's turn to replace a pawn with something else like a bishop or maybe a knight. But it's not a black knight, but a team in blue and white. Army believes that throw was not straight, and the referee, oh, the look on Bolt's face was priceless. I think I've identified something that Hundley needs to work on with his team at next practice. The lineouts have to get better. Not trying to be unkind, but look at this. That's a screwball. Maybe the wind got a little of it, but I doubt it. Army with a scrum here. That might have been a high tackle against Treaster, and the referee agrees. So everybody backs off. What was a simmer is now a bit of a rolling boil, but I don't think we're ready to put the pasta in the pot yet. Haley gets this one towards that final tree. So not quite to the 22, but Army with some good field position coming up. Army fans shouldn't have to work hard to find other Army fans. You can use Facebook to connect with fellow supporters of the Black Knights while keeping up to date with athletic events on post. Check it out at Go Army West Point again. Go Army West Point on Facebook. After what happened at the Alamo Dome last night, I think that page is getting a lot of traffic. We have a whistle. And the referee saw something he did not like. So it looks like Penn State will regain possession here. This game has slowed down to a crawl, and I think that benefits Penn State more than it does Army, even though Penn State is on the short end right now. All Penn State needs is one play to pull off what would be a very unexpected surprise at this level of the sport. Nastasi gets ready to put this one back in. Shifted back now, Musselman looks to offload. Good pass now for Wine, who gets taken down as Penn State gets across the 10. Nastasi shifted it back. Good offload this time to Rowdy Bush. Here comes in Rowdy Bush. Eludes one tackle. Almost eludes a second, and he's inside the 22. Penn State has not been here much today. It takes a strange bounce. Bilbo picks it up, looks at the far side as the Nittany Lions can taste it now. But Army trying to deny them a full helping. From all fours, pushing continues. Approaching the 5. Can Army come up big here? They've not had to defend too much of this part of the field today. And you gently bring them down. If you slam them, that can be a cardable offense. So good restraint there. Penn State running out of room on the far side. Wound back. Approaching the 5 again. They keep it short on the far side. Army trying to keep Penn State out. It goes over ahead. And now they must retreat. Musselman gets wrapped up around an ankle. Army continuing to push and push back like a security detail following the end of the concert. Wedge back now. Morario looks to run. Almost lost his balance. Is taken down by Gould, who is a machine right now. The bodies are hitting the floor. There's no drowning pool necessary. Treaster gets back to the 22. We've got a whistle. And this one looks like it's going against Penn State. And the ref wants time off. Somebody for Penn State is down at the Army 10. If you like scoring, you've been disappointed, but the effort has been tremendous from both teams, even though they both have some things to work on, as Johnny Haley just getting the breath back into his lungs as work continues on the fallen Penn State player. Army West Point Director of Athletics Mike Buddy has announced a strategic plan called Fruits of Victory. The plan seeks to provide cadet athletes the opportunity to succeed as students and as athletes while molding them into exceptional leaders and officers in the U.S. Army. For more information on the Fruits of Victory, please visit GoArmyWestPoint.com. I think Nick Hosier One of the props is coming off for Penn State. This run by Rowdy Bush. Ian Rowdy Bush, haven't called his name much today, as he was able to elude Johnny Haley, which is not an easy thing to do. Penn State has had some flashes of brilliance, but they have not had the opportunities that Army has had offensively today. Haley gets rid of this one. I think I might have grazed somebody's hand in the balcony on the other side this time. So that's the third one that's wanted up here today. Looks like it'll be spotted at midfield. Into the game comes Gabe Savage. Out comes Bill Bolt, who was clearly part of the equation today. Some fresh horses are in now. Army continues to chew things up. Bardak looking to follow and follow. Army continues pushing as it's wound back. This is incredible. And now it is Dom Tianga that's got it in there somewhere. Ball came out, I think. Penn State think they have it. We've got a whistle.
He's in the side!
Army's yelling as somebody came in from the side, and the referee begs to differ. And now Tian Mosconi gets an explanation. Even by West Point standards, Mosconi is working very hard to show some restraint as he hears the explanation. The percussion section has built an addition. As the Army contingent understands that maybe they need to make some more noise because they did not expect this game to be this close at this juncture. Just over 15 minutes to go, maybe. Nastasi gets ready to insert this coin into the slot. Shifted back by Hovey. Came to Morario. Now Wine, approaching the 10. And we have a whistle. And if you listen carefully, that might have been a Bronx cheer. So let's see what happened here. If anything unusual happened on that last play. As Tianga driving through. There's Masterson trying to get the ball away from him. Army believes he came in from the side. Well, that's definitely not the back door. It's not the front door for sure, and it's not the doggy door. We keep Hobie away from the rugby ball because if we don't, we might not see it again. And it looks like there's somebody for Army getting some attention right now. Mosconi. It might have been the same problem that Dom Tianga had in the early going today. Dom Tianga, I think, had a nosebleed in the opening minute, was briefly replaced by Malik Burchett, and then Tianga came back in. It looks like for now, Mosconi has had the leak plugged up, and Johnny Haley will get ready to try to kick this one into touch and set up another Army lineout. How many more chances will Army get today without scoring? This one gets to the fence, not quite to the bus. Important line out here as Savage communicates what Army needs to do here. If Army scores here, this place will erupt like a high school volcano with extra vinegar and more baking soda. Almost overshot, but a good catch. Now can Army push and impose their will? Army yelling for coming in from the side for Penn State. No call yet. Tianga continues driving forward the ball. Army approaching the 5. They can almost taste it now. Kicked on the ground. Live ball. It is loose and dotted down by Penn State in the in goal area. I can only describe that as a curious decision. I thought Army had the physicality to continue to drive on Penn State. Very surprised, I feel, that they kicked the ball in that situation. "13 minutes left as this one hits the bus. Did that wake up the driver? The game's almost over. Feels like Groundhog Day. Another Army line out inside the 22 of Penn State. They secure it. That's not the issue. They keep going. Hand it off quickly. Is he in? No signal yet. It's held. Penn State picks a lock and Houdini applauds. If I'm beginning to sound like a broken record, I'm probably approaching the top of the chart. Army has had plenty of opportunities to score today, and they just have not been able to do so for one reason or another. Penn State will kick this one only as far as the 22 and be brought back quickly. But this one is shooed away on the far side as Oglesby looks like he was looking for a contact lens in the grass by the time it was all done. Visit Army West Point Authentic where you can shop for Black Knight memorabilia. You can get there by heading to ArmyWestPointAuthentic.com. Also, follow its Twitter account at AWP_memorabilia. So Penn State with a line out here. Can they get better at this part of the game? Wait a second. This one's against Army again. Not the first time it's happened this way. And now Penn State will get another chance here to make up some ground. It looks like Daniel Morario is coming back in. That's good news for the Nittany Lions. Penn State gets it downfield and will go to work. The Black Knight Buddies make up the official kids club of Army West Point Athletics. Open to kids 13 and under with family-friendly benefits aimed to please all ages. More information, please visit GoArmyWestPoint.com/tickets and click on the Black Knight Buddies button. That did not look straight. The man in pink lets it go. As Ralph Crandon would say to Penn State, you're flirting with death. Stepplesworth tries to go forward. Had to hop a little bit. A miscommunication. Was it knocked ahead? Referee says no. But Army get control again. May have been playing at an advantage. So he'll form a system restore point for the system as Army go back to work. Long pass is completed. Oglesby on the far side now as the Black Knights trying to make something out of nothing here. And we've got a whistle. This one's going against Penn State as maybe somebody did not roll away. If this score holds, if Army wins this by a single point, then the good news is they will have been in a close game at an early juncture in the season, maybe unexpectedly. That might be one of the best benefits if this is the final score. Even if they were to get an insurance try of some sort, the fact that they've struggled a little bit today against Penn State might be a good thing long term. You never know. We'll say this much about Penn State. They have played hard. They came prepared. Nine minutes left on the clock. Again, the referee has the final say when this match ends. Army line out at the 22. I think they were looking for a different option, didn't materialize. Now they got to come up with something on the fly here. And a big hit, but a good offload. Oglesby has it left side. Is he in the clear? Yes, he is. Army finally breaks through. Patrick Oglesby finishes the job, but several men on the left side were able to make it happen. This was very, very quick. And there's a sense of relief. There were some offloads along the way before Oglesby got there. And Johnny Haley, I think, had the last pass. They don't track assists the same way they do in basketball, lacrosse, and hockey. But Johnny Haley made a big play there. Now, here's the problem. I think his name is Pineapple Pete. He came to me at halftime. He has ties to Guam, and he appreciates when I say that the conversion is coming from there. Well, that's what Johnny Haley's got here. But here's the important thing. If he makes this kick, it's going to be a lot tougher for Penn State to come back because they'll need 2 scores. Can he cut through the wind? Yes, he does! Oh, that's a big one. Army in front by 8. Penn State will need 2 scores to overtake it. Coming right at you. The sticks were swinging, and he got it through. And it sounds like, it looks like there from that angle, he had some room to spare. Johnny come lately Haley as Army knocks that one ahead. Every ref will make that call. I have no doubt this is frustrating for Matt Sherman and company. They take a major step forward and then it's a step backwards. There hasn't been continuity today that you would expect. But with just over 6 minutes left, Penn State now has the inevitable task of getting a try. I'm doing some quick math. You see it in sevens a lot. A team trailing late will forego a conversion just to speed up the kickoff. Would they do that here if they're able to score the final minute? And hope for a penalty kick to tie the game or another try to win it. It will be absolutely dramatic fashion. Nastasi, important scrum. We've got a whistle. And this one is going. Wait a second. It is going against Army. Quick tap. It comes to Hoey. Now for Wine. Musselman. It's booted. And that is going to cause the window to close for Penn State. It goes without saying this has not been a pretty picture today. But Army appears to be close to completing the mission, albeit sloppy fashion. And the referee wants time off. The athletic department at the U.S. Military Academy has its own Twitter account. Follow Go Army West Point for the latest information on the Black Knight teams, as well as highlights and content you won't find anywhere else. Again, Go Army West Point on Twitter. I think Bully Burchett, who came in the opening minute when Dom Tianga had that nosebleed, has come in now for the duration. And Dylan Liskey, who was in the middle of everything a little bit today, is going to sit a spell and see if his mates can close this out. Important scrum for both teams. Army is still going to focus on possession, eating up that clock as they'll maintain possession here. And come up big. Down the stretch they come. Kyron offloads it on the far side. Army with a chance to continue the march, and they're just stopped short. And we've got a whistle against Penn State. Game's not over yet, but the window has now closed. The question is the glass bulletproof? And somebody is down for Army. That is Gannon Conrad in flight. Was able to offload it to Nate Gould, who had the utter try for Army, which feels like a lifetime ago with all the chaos and fumbleia we've had with the ball today. And that is unfortunately Nate Gould down on the field. If I had a buck for every time I said this was a rugged, tough sport where the coaches are not just ensuring technique but also safety, I'd have a pretty good 401k. This is a remarkable game, and we are grateful for those who instruct at the youngest levels that show you that you can't tackle at the head, that you can't slam somebody if you take them off their feet. These are big, important things because this sport is all about respect. So hopefully Nate Gould's okay. Some good news about the Army women's team. Last report, they were ahead of LIU 29-0, so it looks like they're closing into their first win of the season. When Dartmouth came here last Saturday, they looked like they were definitely the front runner to three-peat. 36-minute Army women's soccer at American. They are scoreless, league opener. And it looks like Gould's going to be all right, but I think he's done for the day. Johnny Haley can't wait to put the ball back into play. They've adjusted the clock again. Just because the clock reaches 0 doesn't mean the game is over, especially if Penn State has it. So I assume Gould is done, and I'm guessing it's somebody coming in. They might play with 14 briefly to see if he can make it back. But with so little time left, they might throw in somebody for fresh legs. Gould, pardon me, Haley will kick this one further towards the end goal area. And Army will set up a line out potentially for the kill shot. Also going on for Army teams today, volleyball visiting Lafayette at 5 o'clock. Men's soccer, their Patriot League opener at Bucknell at 7. Can Army get one last score here to salt it away? Good shift. They continue on. It came to Murray. Kieran Murray is now into the game for Army. He's at the 5. A big hit on Rolling. The ball forms.
He's down.
Quick pass. Army has to be careful, otherwise it goes the other way, and suddenly it's a one-point game potentially. They continue to battle. They still have possession. And it is through, and Army will complete the mission. Let's see if we can find out who got this one in. Last push at the end. Was it Ben Richards? It looks like it was. So he takes care of business. Army will get its first victory of the season, but again, some questions about the way they handled the ball today and some discipline in the ruck and the scrum. And it looks like Haley has hooked it, but still 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
You're good, Johnny, you're good.
Army up by 13 with 2 minutes left. It would take something bordering on supernatural for Penn State to come all the way back. Good coaches always find something to work on, but I'm sure Matt Sherman will find more than I think he bargained for after this game, especially with all the lessons learned against Trinity Dublin. But good teams can still find ways to win games when they don't play at their best. Can't say enough about Penn State's effort today, too. Even though they've also had some ball handling errors, Army has just had more opportunities to score. Hoey, now for Musselman. On the near side, they get one more from Oriu. Taking him on all comers, gets towards the 5. Penn State looking to get one for the road. It comes to Treaster, who secures the ball, but Army secures him. We've hit the last of the 80. Bilbo tries to drive forward. More driving by Wine without the ball. Ultimately came to DeBow. Anthony DeBow gets the ball. He came in here in the second half. Treaster. It's picked off. And this one will go the distance. Patrick Oglesby. Exclamation point. That's his second of the game, the second in the second half. And Army, it wasn't pretty at times today, but they'll end the day well. Came right to him. Sometimes if you anticipate, good things happen to you. And how fast he runs, nobody was going to catch him. So now some happy faces. They know they've got work to do, but they've completed the mission. They've secured the victory. Food will taste great. And that drive back to State College is going to feel a bit long as Army will beat Penn State for the 5th consecutive time. Well, this one was closer than anybody would have expected. As Haley puts this one through. And I think that's the final kick of the match. It was 7-6 at the half. But Army showed its mettle. Got 2 second half tries from Patrick Oglesby. Also had one from Ben Richards in the second. Had one from Nate Gould to start. Couple of penalty kicks from Stephen Hoey. Showed that Penn State were Penn State. Matt Sherman said that the Nittany Lions would be a formidable foe. They were today, but Army was able to make some plays at the end of this one. So Army will try to get better at the fundamentals, and that should bring some great things once they're able to master those. Penn State were definitely very game today, but Army was just relentless on the attack. They had plenty of possession. They'll wish they had more points. They probably should have had 26 points in the first half with the chances they had. But defensively, they made the stops when they needed to. And they tell me that lunch is ready. It's going to taste real good for the team in black. The team in white played admirably, though, too. As Stephen Hoey, with his 2 penalty kicks, got Penn State within 7-6 at the break. But Army was able to find its identity in the second half. Some good running by Bill Bolt there. Big hit on Lockie Treaster. As Penn State just could not secure the ball as well as Army did today. Although the Black Knights, I think, admittedly, will feel like they could have had that part of the game better. Lineouts were also an issue today for Penn State. That's something they got to work on. They got to get better. I don't want to sit here and say they can't get any worse, but we were always surprised. That's something I think Justin Hundley will work on when they get back to State College. As the Black Knights just kept coming and coming, as Penn State had few and far between chances down near the Army sticks. As the Black Knights were able to take care of business on lineouts and ultimately maintain possessions with some good physical plays while on defense. Ian Rowdybush had the best chance, I think, to score for Penn State in the second half. And if he breaks one more tackle, we might be having a different outcome today. Just kept going and going and going. And at that time, Army did not have the game secure. It was still 7-6. It was very much an Army, I don't say kerfuffle, but it didn't have momentum for sure, as Penn State continued making enough errors that allowed Army to take a deep breath and just focus on refining its own game. Here's the first try by Oglesby in the second half, the final offload from Johnny Haley, as that definitely provided some breathing room. It took multiple passes there. You see Gannon Conrad just running down the field quickly for Army as they warmed up to the task again. Nate Gould, who got hurt towards the end of this game, but it looks like he'll be okay, as the Black Knights were able to capitalize on some insurance and get some more good runs positively here towards the end of this one. An insurance try by Ben Richards would help them produce the margin of victory and take the win out of Penn State Sales, as Richards was able to do the job there at the end, as the Black Knights were in the clear at that point. And then the final play made by Patrick Oglesby, as that pass I think was looped a bit too much, as he'll convert his second try of the second half and produce the final margin of 26-6. Lunch is on the table. It's going to taste great today. The Black Knights get their first victory of the season. What a beautiful shot. Time to say goodbye to everybody. I don't want to go, but they tell us that we got to go home, or at the very least we can't stay here. For Brian Smith on replay, for Maya McDonald at graphics, and for our director today, the assistant director for live events at Army West Point Athletics, Ryan Panny, I'm Nikolai Busko. Thank you for watching the Army West Point Athletics YouTube channel, whether you're around the court, around the world. Have a great rest of your weekend.